let's get back to the building process. So now you're on 96.5,
Mm-hmm.
and you have your first show, Professor. Who was your first? Do you remember your first ever interview? Was I'm sure maybe that was probably like a underground MC or somebody maybe how did that interview go? Like what was that? What was
Yeah,
that like?
it was
What
a
was your
local
first ever
artist.
interview like? Not mainstream artist, but your first ever interview. Like walk us through that day if you remember it.
It was I think it was my man Gino Mays, to be exact. There was a group here in the 941 called it was Gino and Skunk, R.I.P. to Skunk Boogie, man. My man passed away. Um, it was Gino, and they popping. It was popping here in the 941. So it was him. I brought Gino on. I brought my man Kid Ron on, and he was the dude that was shooting all the rap videos around that time. So I brought an artist, a videographer, and shit, it was probably Vibes and Rob. And my
Oh
man
wow.
DJ. And shout out to D, and because that was a female. Shout out to D. D was one of my co. No. D wasn't even on yet. It was just me and my man Ryan Nito. I ain't seen Ryan Nito in years.
Wow, wow. So Gen TV really been
Shit.
a part of your nucleus. That's dope. That's dope.
Yeah, because back then, right, there was no live. They didn't have no live and no zooms and none of that. It was
Right,
just straight, terrestrial radio.
right.
So Vibes, they had the camera, and I wanted the footage of the Shizzle Show shot.
Why did you
So
want
I
that
brought
footage then?
I brought Vibes in, and then Rob, he takes the pictures while Vibes shoots the footage. So I wanted footage and pictures taken at the show, and
Right.
then they were trying to build up their portfolio for down here. So it just worked hand in hand, and it always has been.
What gave you the insight to want to have cameras and pictures being taken while the radio is going on? Because even that's a whole new
Good question.
aspect of the game that people weren't really thinking of back then.
Good question, because there was none of that back then, right?
Right.
But remember, I was an artist. So through artistry, when you're an artist, you promote your shit, you shoot videos. It's about your visuals and pictures and stuff like that. So that was one of the things that I incorporated into the radio-ness from the musical. I'm like, yo, this shit could be like a video, you know what I'm saying? And this is of my show. And then take pictures, and the people would like the pictures. And just like I was just saying too, it'll lead right into it. Boom. Gen TV was shooting the footage. They came. This is round the top, like I said. Boom. I got in, got my own show. Boom. Met Rob. Vibes met Rob. Boom. They came down. Boom. So Vibes is shooting the footage. Rob is taking the pictures, and we doing that, and we doing that, but no one else is doing that. You know what I'm saying? So it might have helped put it in effect when Vibes came down too. I will say that, my thoughts, because when me and Ryan Nito was first together, there was no way to do nothing. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And then Vibes came down, met Rob, boom, and we made that shit pop off with the visuals. Yeah, that's where I got it from music. Hell yeah. So that's what we would do. We would Vibes would do. He'd take it, chop it up, edit it, and upload it to the different outlets that we had.
Okay. Dope.
And I
Dope.
remember there was back then, right? There was a cable channel too in Tampa. And I remember that Vibes made some connection that you can with your cable network
Right.
that's there in your city, and they have some channels where you're able to get on.
Right.
So we had some of the footage that from shows and things that we did put on there. So I remember on like Wednesdays and Fridays, you could see us on TV in Tampa. So that
Yeah.
was something
Yeah.
else that was popping, and no one else was doing that. No one else was doing that.
That's all the Gintv formula in New York, because we have it comes on here in New York and through public access channels. So when he went out there, you know, I just told him, yo, look up, you know, whatever public access they have out there, and you know, we could put the episodes out there as well. So though
because JP, wasn't our shows down here when he sent you, wasn't it being played up there on like Fridays and Saturdays?
Absolutely, yeah.
Because that's something else that we used to push back then that helped us out. You know what I mean? Like, yo, we on TV Wednesday and Friday here, then we up in New York, boom, Friday and Saturday, boom, 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 boom. That's something that worked. And see, there was no one else doing that.
Because a lot of people was running around calling themselves TV shows, but we really on TV. That's why we say Gintv. It's not just a TV thing. It's really TV. Like, it's on. Now it's funny because TV is kind of getting to be, you know, I won't say obsolete, but it's not as big as social media. You know, you just put your show on YouTube or Facebook, and you know that's where your platform is. But back then, it's either DVDs or TV is the only platform, you know, we had, you know, and that's where, and we was on that. We on that heavy still to this day.
Gintv.com.